This is cool.
For those of you here online right now doing the workout, we've already handled a lot of the scaling questions with respect to what equipment you're going to use, either the barbell or a kettlebell. For the people that are going to be watching this later, I'll just say that kind of the big solution that we came up with for most people is that most people will be doing half of the workout with a barbell and half with a kettlebell, depending on the loading. So since this workout is 150 sumo deadlift high pulse, many of you, Jenny, Kim, Pam, Kristen, are going to do half of the total number of repetitions with a kettlebell, which I guess I mean is on this side of the room, and then half of them with the barbell. Although you can do them wherever you want. It's just my gestures seem to get a little bit dramatic. And then Andy and Tib, you guys have rowers, so go ahead and row. So hey Daryl, let's do those sumo deadlift high pulls later because we got to work on that lowering. All right, let's go ahead. And the first thing I want to start with is a set of up downs that have some knees to elbows. And what I mean by up down is that it's a burpee with no push up. So we're going to open up, come down to the ground, open up. I mean to be kicking or jumping back. So it's a burpee. So 10 of these. You can step back, you can step forward, and then a jump. Please get in 10 of those. 10 up downs, and on your 10th one, you're going to hold this position in plank, and then take a knee to right elbow, opposite knee to left elbow. And go for a set of 10. Followed by 10 downward facing dog into cobra. Downward facing dog with some time. Step out the heels. Get some calf and hamstring warm up. Plank. Start into that little cobra. It's just enough back extension, right? You don't have to get into full cobra. It's just enough back extension to tighten up the midline and to relax it to get some opening in the lower back. So go for 10 of those. Up downs, knees to elbows, and a little bit of twist. So we've got a lot of hinging at the waist today. We have a lot of push-ups. So I'm trying to limit the total number of push-ups we're doing in the warm-up, which is why we're not doing burpees and push-ups right now. Okay, come up to standing. And we're just gonna do some wrist warm-ups. So circle the wrists in opposite directions as each other. So there was a link on the workout description today that talked about, or the word was core to extremity. And if you clicked on that, it was a video of a level 1 seminar with one of the instructors talking and the other one up on a box demonstrating the sumo deadlift high pull, representing this core to extremity. Let's go for elbow spins, outside and in, and then shoulder spins, outside and in. And so I did that specifically because we were moving to the extremity to the core, right? I could have started with finger circles, and then wrist circles, and then elbow circles, and then shoulder circles. And in that sense, we moved from the extremity down to the core. So now let's go for core to extremity. Let's stand still. Brace the belly, right? So the core is tight. And now push the hips back. And now notice the knees are bending. And now the ankles are bending. We're at the bottom of a squat. Belly is tight. the hips move, the knees move, the ankles move. One of the ways that most people describe this core to extremity is a pitcher goes into a windup, the belly is braced, right? Starts from here, and then in a wave of contractions that undulate from the middle out to the extremities, the hips move, a big demonstrative movement with the torso, the elbow, the shoulder, the wrist, and then finally the fingers. In the movements that we do, particularly today in the sumo deadlift Taifu, is we have that core to extremity, and it's very well demonstrated, and we'll continue going through that once we get the PVC pipes in hand. All right, so let's get back down into plank. And then from plank, knees on the ground for tabletop. And I want to work with contralateral. So left hand out, right leg out. So a bird dog. Belly is tight, body gets long. Body comes back to small or close to the fetal position. And then switch sides. Right hand, left leg. Right, holding the neck just in a neutral position, not overextended and not held into the chin, just looking sort of like maybe 2 feet out in front of the hands. So working extremity to core, bring everything back in, hold, and switch sides. Belly is tight, core out to the extremities and get long. Bring the extremities back in and hold. And this just starts off with getting the spine rigid and neutral, the belly tight, and then rest back down to the ground. Let's switch to the other side. Let's do this first. Bring the knees off the ground, and then let's move contralateral. So left hand, right foot are off the ground just slightly. Clearly the belly is much tighter, the engagement with the hand and the foot. Right hand, left foot is stronger. Back to the ground and switch sides. Right hand, left foot. And switch. Right hand, left foot on the ground. And then bring that right foot through, keeping the right angle in the knee and the hip. I even have it in the elbow. So when I go right back down to the ground, I'm exactly in the same position as where I started. Let's go with 8 of these, meaning 4 on each side. So it'll go at this pace. Twist and return. 1. Ready, go. Twist and return. That's 2. Keep it going. Left side, twist, and 3. Switch, twist, and 4. Try and bring that leg underneath and imagine touching the toe to the ceiling. So twist and together. So I purposefully was staying in a really rigid, keeping the hip bent and the leg bent, because this is more demonstrative. I'm trying to keep it nice and tucked in here. So switch for about 3 more repetitions. Where'd you go, Daryl? There you are. All right. And then from this position, let's go for another set of up downs. 1, 2. Again, you can step back and step up. 3. Please get 10. So Dusty, what's the weight of your dumbbell? Or do you have a set of dumbbells? I'm still thinking in the back of my mind. Oh, a curl bar, all right. So I'm thinking, yeah, like power snatch, actually. Instead of just the pull, if we increase the range of motion to go muscle snatch,
Okay.
I think that may be a way to go, right? Because you have the pull and the lock.
Cool.
And then bring it back down. Pull and lock. That's
like
what my thoughts are right now. But limiting to this, it's just not enough range of motion to get your heart rate up, and your muscles will just fatigue before anything.
Right.
How is this hinge at the hip? Can you get a little bit of that?
I can probably get a little, or at least like a little dip and drive.
Right. Okay. The dip and I like the dip and pop, because
Yeah.
that's like muscle snatch version.
Yeah.
The reason I thought about dumbbells first, because they can act independently, and that may be a little too much motion, but
I've only got 55.
yeah, I was gonna say
That'd
that's
be-
the limitation.
It's a heavy day.
So definitely that's too heavy for today. All right. Please lie down on your belly. It's like airplane, right? Arms out to the side. This is your rest position today. Nose facing the ground. Pull those hands back in tight to the shoulders. Top position. Lower all the way to the ground. Airplane and back. That is the Army fitness test push-up. So if any of you watched the preview last night, my idea for this is I would prefer to have no training push-ups today. No knees, no training push-ups. Two possibilities. You can either scale the number of repetitions down to 20, maybe 20 per round. That could be good. It could be 15 per round, right? If you're doing singles where it's taking you full effort, I'd rather have you scale it down to 15. But what I want to try and see is this lowering all the way down to the ground, keeping the belly and the thighs off the ground, and a solid plank push-up. And again, if you think about this in terms of the number of repetitions that someone who is really good at this is going to do, they're going to do 30, and it's going to take them about 45 seconds or so, maybe even a full minute. Right? Can you please do 3 Army combat fitness test push-ups? Belly tight. That's great, Jane. Think about pushing the butt to the ceiling first so that the thighs, the pelvis, and the belly are off the ground. Solid. Okay, now I see a couple of boxes in the picture. And so my idea on the box today is I don't want you to go into the airplane. It feels just kind of contrived, and there's really no reason to get there. What I want you to do if you're using a box today is I just want you to unweight so that your full body weight is on your chest. Lock out, hold. Lock out, hold. So you're getting that rhythm of the same movement. You're resting on your chest for a split second, and you're having to overcome the position of being stopped, right, in the full position before pushing back up. So going out to the side on a box doesn't seem like a good thing to do. I'm going to give you 30 seconds right now, and I'd like you to get, I don't want to say max repetition because someone's going to get 30, and I don't want you to get 30. I want you to go through a very steady pace that is sustainable for 30 seconds, and count how many you get. 3, 2, 1, go. Again, this is more about setting a pace and sticking with it for 30 seconds. Now, this is the only set of these we're going to do before the actual workout starts. And the remainder of the warm-up will work on sumo deadlift high pulls. Let's go ahead and rest. So at that pace, how many repetitions did you get? I have most of you off mute. Can you just throw out your number? Okay, Jane, 6.
8.
8 for Kristen.
Okay.
9. 9.
Okay, between 6 and 9. How many, Davis?
11.
11. Cool. So you see, is that a pace that you could continue for another 30 seconds, or maybe another 60 seconds, And maybe somewhere between double and triple. Okay, no. So Jane, I want you to do 15 each set, okay? 15 repetitions. Now, I don't think 15 repetitions for Jane, or maybe 20 repetitions for Kristen, or I don't know. What did you say, Kim?
8.
You got 8? So somewhere 20 or 25. How'd you do, Cecily? 11. Okay. So Cecily and Davis are going to be doing 30. Right? If you were somewhere between like 8 and 9, maybe it's 20 or 25, you decide. But the idea is, I don't think you should be doing this for any more than 2 minutes, right? 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. So perhaps on the first round, you can take a look at the clock. If you get in 15 and you're right at the 1.5 minute time, then great. Move on to the sumo deadlift high pulse. Right. If early on, you're already doing some snaking in the spine, that's where you want to limit the total number that you're going to do. I want these to be a more solid, rigid midline position. All right. Can you please grab your PVC pipe? Go ahead and get in a set of pass-throughs. I wonder how many of you have been picking up the PVC pipe to get in around the worlds or pass-throughs or rotations. Has it been more or less often than when you're at the hut? Because I know people's go-to is they walk into the gym and you pick up the PVC pipe and do a couple of pass-throughs. Let's get in a couple of rotations here. And now, the extremities are moving, right? The upper arms are moving, but try and keep this belly, this torso rigid. Just like in the sumo deadlift high pull, the torso needs to stay rigid. Now go ahead and grab your PVC pipe. I like to go about 3 inches from thumb width. And for me, that's roughly with the wrist underneath the shoulders, right? So wide enough that the barbell is not losing balance. And those of you doing the sumo deadlift high pulls today with the barbell, that's going to be your challenge. Having the hands close enough so that they can be between the knees, but wide enough so that you can balance. So continue to take a look at the marking on your bar. And then go with the sumo stance. So if your squat stance is here, I'm going to heel toe it out, maybe just one more step. And that way I have my sumo stance. Let's go for a set of 5 sumo deadlifts. I'll show you a couple of repetitions. That bar should stay pegged against the thighs and shins, pause at the bottom, the shins and the thighs. Keep in mind, take a look at the direction of my toe is going out, and in the bottom of this, the hip, the knee, and the toe are all moving in the same line. And then back up. When you get to the top of the deadlift, please shrug the shoulders. And notice how it's just the shrug. It's not a lean back. It's just the shrug. I can think about having glutes and quads tight. Shrug, down, wide stance again. Go all the way down to the bottom. So stand up, squeeze, shrug, and then reverse. Shrug, loosen the glutes, and push back. So let's get in 3 of those. Stand, shrug, reset. Stand, shrug, reset. The reset happens right away. Finish and right back down. And now get into your setup position. And as you move up and get above the knees, then go a little faster. Stand as soon as the bar is above the knees. Create some speed on that bar. So we got the position right. Now let's get the speed right. And 1 more rep. Stand, shrug. Cool. Now on the top of the deadlift position, you have squeezed the glutes, you have shrugged the shoulders, and now drag the bar as if your thumbs are zipping up a sweatshirt. Bar is high and outside. You see how high the bar is here? It's just high enough, right, that my elbows can stay high, but I'm not leaning back. My belly is tight and the bar is here. Now I reverse the bar, the shoulders come down, and I drop into a deadlift. Let's go slow motion. Stand, shrug, pull. Lower and lower. Please get in 3, just not super slow motion, but not super fast motion either. Great, I see brooms and belts and things like that. So Jane, the bar is getting away from you right here. Take a look at, the bar is getting away from you right here. There's space. I want you to think about taking the bar and dragging it all the way up until it hits your big cowboy belt buckle and then pull. So the bar into belt and then pull. Just elbows high and outside. And then don't hold that bar at the top, otherwise you got it. Think about this. This bar eventually is heavy. You're not going to be able to hold anything. In fact, pull the bar up underneath your chin or right over your collarbone. What do you hold like that in real life? Nothing at all for any period of time. Andy, your elbows are here. Bring the elbows above the bar. There you go. So in the workout, in the pull, right, I'm not going to spend any time up here. As soon as I hit that position, I'm going to unwind, right? We've just gone core to the extremities, and now the extremities move first. The arms go, the shoulders go, the belly and the hips go. That's the order of operations. Let's go full speed. Ready, go. And let's meet. Let's make home base here, the deadlift position, because this is the part that most people, this is you, Daryl, this is the part I want you to work on. Hold the deadlift, right? Stand, pull, hold the deadlift, and then reset. Stand, pull, hold the deadlift. I'm going to try and make a comparison. It's not exactly the same, but if I were on a rower, I can hold this position and go slow into the next rep. Does that make sense? Right? Drive, pull, finish, and then slow. The sumo deadlift works similarly, but I'm not going to hold here. I'm going to hold here. Hold, and then bend over. Hold, and then bend over. Please get 3 reps. Accentuating or over-exaggerating. Oh, Daryl, don't pause on the way up. Don't pause on the way up. Ready, go. Don't pause on the way up. Last one. Ready, go. Pause on the way down. You got it, Daryl. And in that sense, the elbows always extend before the hips bend. All right. So my special cue for today, I need to keep it short so everyone knows what it is. It's those elbows lock and bend. Lock and bend. I like bow because bend could be anything. It could be spine. Bow always means hips. So it's lock and bow. Right? That's our special safe word today, lock and bow. And that just means that you're not extending your elbows completely. Now, please get your, get out a barbell or a kettlebell. And at least for now, Tib and Andy, keep going with us on this warm up, even though I know you're going to be on the rower. Okay, and just get a set of deadlifts. You don't have to be sumo stance. You don't have to clean it, just deadlifts, just a simple deadlift, just lower and stand. Okay, in your set of deadlifts here, I want you to be conscious of that bar moving straight up and down. Heavy loads, weights do not like to move horizontally. They want to move straight up and down, and that's because gravity acts straight down. Okay, so in the top of this movement, at the top of your deadlift, this may be a little heavy for some of you, but I want you to stand up and I want you to zip the jacket and go right back down. Pull and lower. belly tight, pull and lower. Now you see if we did 50 repetitions of this, you'd have to break them up into very small sets because you're not using the drive from the hip. Now I want you to go down to just the knee. Down to the knee. This is like a sumo deadlift high pull from the hang. And keep in mind that you'd never leave that bar right underneath the chin. Right? Try and keep the feet flat on the ground and just move the hip. And this is where I'm going to use our special safe word, where it's elbows and bend. I forgot the safe word.
Lock and bow.
Lock and bow. Thank you. Lock and bow. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into the hang. You're going to do the high pull, lock and bow, and pause in the hang. So we're going to go from the hang, 5 reps. Lock and bow, 5 repetitions. All right. Now, as I look around, I'm reminded of what often happens on a sumo deadlift high pull, and that's the body gets tired of the bow, and it just starts to dip the knees. Right? So if I dip the knees, the bar has to go around the knees. No good. My bow has to be so far forward that when I'm done with the bow, the bar has to be below the knees. So please get in 3 sumo deadlift high pulls, making sure that bar stays close to the thighs. Elbows high, Jane. Go below the knee. You got to go below the knee. There you go. Lock and bow, Daryl.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to keep saying it. Okay. So just a 30-second tangent, which is kind of interesting. I've been trying to think of, is there ever a time when you sumo deadlift high pull something and keep it right here? And the only one I can think about is one of my go-tos when someone says, what is a sumo deadlift high pull good for? It's good for lifting something up, like a kid. A kid comes running to you, you get into position, you catch them, and you pull them up. And then you put them up overhead maybe. But this is the only movement I can think of where you're pulling something off the ground and you're keeping it right here. Anyway, moving on. This is a barbell. It's not a child. It's got to be lowered back down to the ground. So in terms of number of repetitions, the reason that you're doing 1 rep is that it equals 10 meters. So if you want to count by tens, you can. If you want to drop a 0, then go ahead and do that. Please get in 50 meters. This is your math assignment. This is like perfect, I think, 2nd grade math. Do 50 meters worth of sumo deadlift high pulls, and let's see how many you do. Right, Tiv and Andy are on their rowers. Andy, how many strokes did it take to get 50 meters?
I didn't count. I'll do it again.
Okay, the answer is 5. Or maybe 6.
No, to get it going, it's probably going to be closer to 9 or 10.
Okay, so the answer is about 5 or 6.
Yes, the answer is 5.
On average, it's about a stroke was going to give you about 10 meters. And that's why, to open up the workout, you'll get in 50 meters, or sorry, 50 strokes, then push-ups, 25 strokes, then push-ups, 25 strokes, then push-ups, and then your final set. Now, I know that Andy's going to finish the row in under 2 minutes. I also know that 50 sumo deadlift high pulls is going to make you want to stop at some point. And you know what? Go ahead and stop. One of my favorite division problems is 51 divided by 3 is 17. So get in 3 sets of 17 minus 1. And there's your set. And there's how you'll finish the sumo deadlift high pulls in under or around 2 minutes. All right. At this point, does anyone have any questions about the sumo deadlift high pull and the repetition counts or the equipment? I thought we were good with that. Right. Push-ups are already good because we've set that one up already. And now all you have to keep in mind is that there's 4 sets of sumo deadlift high pulls. These 2 ones are the small. And then here's the push-ups right there in between. 50, 25, 25, 50, 30, 30, 30, or 20, 20, 20, or 15, 15, 15. Here we go. Are you ready in 30 seconds?
Start.
Again, if you have to break up the sumo deadlift high pulls, think about doing it in concerted efforts. If you have to break up the rowing, then I want a divorce. All right. Go. Remember the safe word, lock and bend. Lock and bow. All right. Here we go. Barbells out. 50 reps in 3, 2, 1, go. Keep pushing those knees out. Keep the bar close to the thighs on the way down. Keep that hip drive up. If you've got a barbell, think about brushing the hands on the thighs on the way down. It's difficult for me to talk and count. Go below the knee, Jane. There you go. And keep the hips higher. Bend at the hips more. There you go, right there. And that keeps the knees out of the way. Okay, Daryl, pause completely. Pause completely, Daryl. And stand up tall. Stand up tall, even taller. The positioning on the way down is important because if you're bending the elbows early, it almost has to pull you into flexion. Worst position to be in right here. Push the hips back and let those elbows stay long. Every time, just a brief pause in deadlift position before you hinge forward. That's the way to fix it. There you go, Daryl. That's the way that you rewire. No pause on the way up. Big drive. All right, most of you are into the push-ups. Very short sets, even if it's a 1 and a breath. Don't get in 12 in a row and then take a 15-minute break. Rather, a 30-second break. 1 rep and go. Think about this. Every time at the bottom, you have an opportunity for a quick break. When your chest is on the ground, right before you push, tighten up the belly. Good, strong push, Daryl. Those are great. Think belly tight and push away. What number are you on, Jane?
8, maybe?
Okay. There you go. Get one more, Jane. You're going to do a set of 10. Elbows a little higher, Jenny.
What?
Elbows, Jenny, a little higher. There you go. Good hip drive, Kim. Good punch right there. That's great, Kim. That's a good example of that slight pause at the top of the deadlift on the way down. When you get in the next set, when you're rested again, try and take that little pause out, and that'll carry you right into the next one. Are you on your next set of sumo deadlifts, Jane? All right. Okay, this is just 25. So maybe 13 and 12. Great. Tiv and Andy are actually on their C2s. Keep the hips, Davis, a little higher when you go into the deadlift. There you go. Belly tight, hips a little high. Up. That time they drop down. Keep them a little higher. There you go. That keeps the hamstrings engaged and allows you to more easily navigate the knees, or actually it keeps the knees out of the way. All right, all of these, Jane, are sets of 1, right? Just do 1 and take a break. So Army Combat Fitness Test push-ups. The challenge for the fitness test, you get 2 minutes to do as many as you can. And 100 is the high point, is the maximum number of points. All right, Kristen, good leg drive. Way to keep that bar close. All right, Pam's on her set of 25. All right, Jane, set of 25. There we go, Kim. Timing looks good, Cecily. Oh, maybe just pause a slight bit before the hinge, Cecily. There you go. All right, snatches on a curl bar, right, Dusty? That's all right. It's like eating ice cream with a fork. It completely works. But people are still going to make fun of you for it. All right. Here we go, Daryl. Bring those thighs and hips up off the ground. Belly tight and push. Nice, Jane. Way to grind through it. Come on, soldier. Jane Addams, soldier of fortune. All right. Seems like everyone's on a little break right now. Pick it up and go. All right, Tib. Here we go, Andy. Final set of push-ups. All right, Pam, here we go. You're on the spotlight. You've got center stage, Pam. Final big set, Pam. Those look great. Final set, Jenny. All right, Jane. All right, Dusty, this is it. The blog said we're looking at a 12-minute finish for some of you, with an upper end of about 15. So those of you on your final set of push-ups, you're still doing okay. Just keep pushing. Small sets, small rests. I'm going to bring the clock in here close for those of you who are about ready to finish. Oh, you're done, huh? Right, Kristen? What was your finish time, Kristen?
Don't know, didn't check my clock.
Well, like 11:32 was what I had. I thought maybe you were a little closer. Clock is right here, guys. Okay, as we move into this final set here, I have you all unmuted so you can hear each other groan through the end of it. Take a look at the clock when you're done.
You still have Pam highlighted.
Oh, because it looks awesome, Pam.
Exactly.
Here we go, Kim. Final set. Keep thinking pull to the belt buckle, Kim. And that gives you just a little more power on the way up. Yes. All right, Andy? Oh, Dusty's got the Jimi Hendrix going.
stones.
There you go, 41. I got you, Jenny. 41. There we go, Davis. Tib and Andy. What was your time, Jane?
I don't know. I lost count a couple times too.
What was your time, Kim?
14:20.
14:20?
Yes.
All right.
Ah,
14:47, Andy. All right, what was yours, Davis?
14:16.
All right. All right, see you, Dusty and Cecily. Way to go. Thibaut.
Oh,
Got it. 14:31. All right, lots of you right there under that 15-minute mark. Here we go, Daryl. Keep
Andy,
pushing.
you like this row?
oh,
And Pam, what's yours?
12:55.
Daryl, you're moving still?
Yes.
All right.
Ah,
Those of you that are done, I'd like you just to lie down on your back and pull your knees into your chest. And if you groan a little bit, oh, that takes you back into like fetus times. All right. I'm gonna keep that clock up there for you, Daryl. You're done. And I'm gonna lie down on my back. Actually, I'm gonna have you guys now roll over onto your stomach. Get into a forearm plank, which is a low cobra, baby cobra. We'll just open up the back in that direction. And then when and if you're ready, you probably realize that we need to get into some child's pose. And then when you're ready, drop back into baby cobra. And I'm gonna put one arm, my right arm out, my left arm up, left arm out to the side, and just get a little twist in the spine in that direction. Just a little relief from all that tension that you're holding in the spine today. And I'm going to switch sides. Left arm up like Superman, right arm out like Army Fitness Test push-up. So what do you guys think? Do you like those? Clearly they're slower than regular push-ups, but it also gives you a split-second break.
Yeah, it's
Forearm plank. Baby cobra. Tuck the toes under and drop right back down into child pose.
Can you tell that? Strawberries would be so good. Thank you so much.
And then I've come back up into all fours. Just cat cow. And then just a couple of 4 bird dogs, 4 on each side, holding for 10 seconds. Switch. Start focusing now on taking the breath back down, slow inhale through the nose. Right. And a slow exhale through the nose. Switch. One more on the right side or on the final side. And as you start to slow the breathing down, your heart rate comes down as well. And then roll back over onto your back. Happy baby. I've been doing final rollout here. And then finally, I'm going to put my legs straight out, my arms off to the side, chest, and a set of iron cross. Go for 10 of those, 5 on each side. And after a total of 10, you can come back over onto your belly. And we'll finish up with just a set of scorpions.